As little girls and boys, we look up at the glowing angel that gave us life with love and adoration. But for too many, this is not a happy reality. For many, the woman holding us is a true monster. These are their nightmares. Delve deep as we unravel the turbulent bonds between mother and child. You are listening to Monsters and Mothers with your host, Betty Wild.
Hey out there, it's me, Betty Wild. I want to thank you for tuning in today. Today is going to be something special that I've been wanting to start on Monsters and Mothers. And today we're going to answer the question, what if you aren't ready to heal? And this question will bring it home for those who have suffered and endured a life filled with pain as the result of child abuse and neglect from our mother. If you have recently gone to the doctor and have had issues with coming out and talking about your story and telling people how you're feeling and getting the response that it's time to heal and let go of all of those past issues that seem to be weighing you down and making you feel as though you just can't move forward. Well, what if you're not ready to heal? What if there's something that you have a huge fear of, and that fear is moving on from the pain? Some of us who have dealt with a lot of abuse in our earlier years in life have grown attached to those memories. And the memories are some type of a comfort, but it's also a prison. And just like any prison, when a prisoner is released, they are unsure of the world around them. And that world could feel more like a bigger prison because it's unknown. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who has your back. You don't know who you can talk to. Again, these are all mostly trust issues that you will have when you go through the healing process. But you have to be ready for it. You can't just jump into something and say, yeah, I'm golden. Let's go. We could do this. Sometimes you need to be prepared, just as if like you were going to take on a sport or something. You're going to say, well, I'm ready for it. I trained for it. Here we go. So when you're healing, you have to kind of do the same thing. Are you ready for this? Are you ready to heal? Are you ready to accept everything that you need to do for yourself to heal? And that means no more arguing with yourself and going back on your word, because essentially this is your healing process, something that you're going through that only you can help yourself. You may have a therapist that's sitting across from you. You may have a friend's ear. But when you think about it, when you're alone, you have to decide that you are ready to take this on. You have let go of those demons, and you have let go of the idea that this is where you belong. Sometimes having a goal, or sometimes, honestly, like for me, the goal of not being a victim, not taking this shit anymore. You know, I'm notorious for getting over shit, and I will say, you know what, screw this, I'm better than this, I'm bigger than this, and it's going to take a hell of a lot more to, get me down than this. But make sure that you are ready for this. So we're going to go over some things and to ensure, and also for you to see, am I on this list? Am I ready to heal? If you're not ready to heal, then come back. Wait for it, because a lot of the times you almost have to be at rock bottom to say, that's it, I'm not taking it anymore. Maybe you're not at rock bottom, but you're close. So don't worry. Healing is a process, but make sure it's going to work this time. A lot of us have already tried. We've tried probably since we were kids to let go, to move on. And these memories, they don't go away very easily. If you're struggling with every time you open a refrigerator door that you're going to get smacked because your mother locked you out of the fridge, or every time you go to the bathroom, you feel like someone's going to barge in on you because your privacy was always taken from you. These are like trigger points, but these are things that are locked in us. As strange as it might sound, a lot of us have different things that can set us off that we're not letting go of. And that has a physical effect on us. We really will internalize that until it becomes a pain, a physical pain. So understand that you're not alone and that each of us is going to go through it differently. And we all need to just find our own time and make sure that this is something that is going to work this time, because we all fall back into that. And a lot of people will also turn to drugs and alcohol to numb it. They think that that's what's healing them. And even though you know it's not healing you, you don't care because it's a temporary fix, and that's all you can handle right now. So when you know that you're ready to heal, will be when it's going to work for you this time. Okay? When you are ready to heal, you will know that this is how you heal. You recognize that familiar pain that's in your stomach, as though something is really wrong, though you can't quite pinpoint it. You start to take inventory of your life, and you look around and notice that something in you is different, and you begin to have a clarity. It's like an awakening. You look at your job, you look at your friends, and what kind of message are you sending out into the universe? And suddenly life is no longer acceptable to you. And if in the sum of all that, it only confirms that you are living a lie, and that has become the knot that is now in your stomach. You're tired of going through that. Tired of the ache. Tired of the shit that is called your so-called life. And when you try and feel better by taking on jobs to distract you and relationships that barely scrape the crust of what your soul needs, it's only a distraction from what is being kept hidden in the back of your mind. It goes on until one day you realize your relationship with your mother is still to this day tainting everything you touch. Slowly it wears you down. It's harder to get up in the morning. It's harder to go out. It's easier to drink and then get drunk. And either you're going to eat more or shop or sleep with people just to kill the pain. But the more you are confused by the small, scary feeling that you can't figure out, the worse it gets. And the worse it gets, the more you become convinced that it's a warning of what's to come. And how much longer can you hold on? The thing about life is that our emotional experiences, if we don't finish them, stay with us. When you're ready to heal, find a place to lie down in a safe space and focus on those intense feelings. Have them show you their origins, and you will see moments you forgot about, feelings you forgot you ever felt. Slowly, over time, you will awaken to what is really wrong, which is the piece of you that had to break off to build a wall behind the wound that you didn't know had to heal. And when you're ready, you will step behind that wall, and you will know that the anger and the sadness and the anxiety are all a veil, a trigger, trying to wake you up. Breathe. You will need to cry. You will need to cry for the little girl that never had love from her mother, for the little girl who took years of abuse from the woman that never held her or loved her. You will need to mourn what you lost and when you lost it. You will need to go back in time and insert yourself into the memories as an adult and tell your child self to say what they really needed to say at that moment they needed to say it. Though they couldn't find the words or the courage, you will do this over and over again, and slowly you will realize you are becoming lighter. You are releasing, and though you cannot change time, You are somehow changing your story. You will need to surrender through the tears. You will have to stop fighting it and see life for what it was so you can see it for what it is now. Different, hopeful, filled with so much potential. You'll get up and your world will start to change. However, slowly, you will exit relationships and begin new ones. Slowly and gradually, you will start to return to yourself and you will enter that emotional fire and proceed to take life with a vengeance. Then you will know that when you lose someone, you must cry. When you're frustrated and angry, you must be frustrated and angry. Let yourself express those feelings. When you want to say something, you must speak. You will stop internalizing and no longer stuff your emotions. When you feel strong enough to look at your past, you can take your place in the life you deserve. A young girl, Allison, describes her childhood as emotionally abusive and unpredictable. Her mother, now a committed Christian, struggled with uncontrollable rage and mental illness when her daughter was a child. Not only did the incidents of violent and frightening outbursts of rage leave her feeling insecure, unloved, and inherently bad, Allison's mom blamed her for her own unstable behavior. "It's your fault I act like this," she said. Suicide first entered her mind at the age of 6. A sensitive child, Allison attempted to avoid her mother's wrath through perfectionism. It would take years for her to find her own road and to stumble upon her own awakening. Allison had to learn to respect her fragileness, her glass-like demeanor, that every time someone looked at her, she was ashamed. We have the power to become better, stronger. We have the power to grow into the warrior that we need, that our children need, and that our partners need. Know that this is possible. And when you enter this space of healing, you become unstoppable. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you share your story with us. I would love to talk with you. You can email me at monstersandmothers@gmail.com. Also, take care of yourself. Love yourself.
Thank you for listening to Monsters and Mothers. Subscribe to hear more chilling accounts of mothers who commit unspeakable horrors.